The Thesis on God. I caution you from the very beginning, there can be no thesis on God. I'm only talking to you on this subject so that some of you who are more interested in investigating this truth can study the book. In 1 hour I can't do justice to the book, and the book can't do justice to the concept of God. So I request you to bear with me and the subject till you get some glimpse, which will mean a lot of rethinking. So what has happened is, thousands and thousands of years back, nobody can say when, human beings were wondering what is beyond the world. What's the concept of the transcendental vis-a-vis the terrestrial world? No other creature except a human can conceive something beyond the world. This is the part played by what is known as a subtle intellect. Only human beings possess a subtle intellect, no other creature. So, an animal can't think of what is beyond this world. Could there be anything beyond the world? An atheist is one who declares there is no God. But what you must appreciate is he conceives God and rejects it. The theists conceive God and accept it. So even those who reject God are able to conceive could there be anything beyond the world? So this mystery surrounded the human beings from time immemorial. And somewhere down the line, somebody planted a thought, it's all God. What's beyond this world is God. And all of you will accept that. Yes. World we are investigating, we are trying to find out the extent the world is now at the moment. But what is beyond the world, the transcendental, is a mystery. So many, many years back, or thousands of years back, they said, it's God. Who created this world? There's no doubt. Everybody is sure here. God created the world. What's your problem, Swami? You have no doubts. The most confused person has no doubts. So, who is God? Where is God? What's his role? No questions are asked, no answers are found. I must confess it is there, deep down in the literature, in the Vedantic literature, and you got to spend a lifetime to find out what it is all about. And I'm just giving you a glimpse of what it is today. Now, from the very beginning, as I said, people have accepted God as the creator of this universe. Who created this world? God. There's no doubt. What is God? Never mind. God created the world. So it's accepted just the word God. It's a word. And anybody now questions it is a blasphemer. You can't afford to question the existence of God. There is God. Who are you to question it? You can't even talk about it. That's why I'm talking about this thesis the last day. Tomorrow I'm flying out. So they asked me, when do you want to talk? Last day. I don't want to stay here beyond that point. Because the disparity between you and me is you're all absolutely clear what God is. Here's a confused individual coming and telling us what God is. You all know it. That's the problem. Now carefully follow. In arithmetic, when you're in school, the common question asked, a problem is given to you. The length of the room is, they give us 10 feet or 20 feet. The breadth of the room is 12 feet. The volume of the room is 240 cubic feet. What is the height of the room? Calculate the height of the room. Length is given, breadth is given, volume of the room is given, calculate the height. If you don't remember, I'm refreshing your memory. Volume equals length, breadth, and height. Length into breadth into height. So length is given, breadth is given, and height we don't know. So how we start the problem is, let the height be x feet. Then L into B, length into breadth, into x equals volume. So what is the height? Volume divided by length into breadth. (240) cubic feet is the volume. 10 feet length, 12 feet length, 10 feet breadth. 120. Therefore, 240 divided by 120 is 10 feet. Height of the room is 10 feet. I may be making a mistake in calculation, but that's the procedure. So we start with the question, let the height of the room be x feet. This is exactly what happened. So what you people are seeking is God, X. Now that X is worshipped, nobody has endeavored to find out what is X. What is this God? Who is God? Where is God? He's all merciful, all peaceful, all loving. Where is he in a terrorist who innocently destroying people? Where is God located? What's he doing? Is he witnessing it? Is he approving it? What's his role? That's what we've got to discuss today. In Hobart, in Australia, when I was in Sydney, I read in the newspapers that a guy took an automatic and shot about 40 people in a restaurant. It's one of the most prestigious restaurants in Howard. He took an automatic on a Sunday afternoon. Everybody having lunch, and then he went on. About 40 people he killed. At that time, a visitor had come. He happened to have a revolver. I don't know if it was good luck or bad luck. A fellow had a revolver. He saw what was happening. It was behind him. He shot him point blank. Saved another 50, 60 people. Otherwise he was going on. Taka, taka, taka. What's the role of God in such a person? A man gives his life for another. What is the role of God? You will say God is in the person who gives. God is not in the person who is destroying. Then he is not all-pervading. Then he is limited. You get into all sorts of complications. Fortunately, you don't think. The problem comes when you start thinking. Just blindly accept. Let it be X feet. X is not the answer. Somebody said, let it be God. And you all agree, accepted God is the creator. God is everything is God, God, God. Nobody has a clue what God is. So therefore, first thing you learn is God is not a person. Those who preached about God are persons. Christ had a birthday and a death day. Muhammad had a birthday and a death day. Krishna had a birthday and death day. But what they were preaching, what they were talking, referring to God as, in Christianity, called the Father in heaven. He had no birthday or death day. The Muslims call him Allah. Allah has no birthday or death day. Krishna calls it Brahman. Brahman has no birthday or death day. Whereas Brahman or Allah or Father in heaven, they are referred as God. They are not persons. So what is God? I am just introducing the concept. If you want to reach God, try to understand God. It is nothing but pure consciousness. There's a lot more to talk about it. I'm just introducing the concept. Then consciousness is another word like God. It's another X. You could say, let it be Y. So I'm trying now to describe to you, define what is this consciousness. The pure consciousness is referred to as God. It could be unmanifest, it could be manifest. Pure consciousness. So what is the unmanifest consciousness? What is the manifest consciousness? The pure consciousness, as I said, referred to as God. When it's manifest, it's conditioned consciousness. That's what you are all. You're all conditioned consciousness. What I mean by conditioned consciousness is, you're all conscious beings. Far from being pure consciousness. Because if I were to ask you, are you conscious? You'll throw back a question of what, sir? Of what? Are you conscious of the sound that's coming off from outside? Incidentally, there's no sound, but I'm just giving you an example. Are you conscious of the smell? You cannot conceive consciousness without a conditioning. Try. Are you conscious? Of what, sir? Of what? Of what? Of what? You can use the word knowledge. Do you have knowledge? Of what, sir? So pure consciousness is pure knowledge. Is pure awareness. These are synonyms. You can call it consciousness, you can call it knowledge, you can call it awareness. If I ask you, are you aware of what, sir? Do you have knowledge of what? You can never answer the question without qualifying it, modifying it, without an object succeeding it. Anything, you would say, of what? Of what? Of what? It has to have an object. That's called conditioned consciousness. So, the pure consciousness has become the conditioned consciousness. All of you sitting here are nothing but specimens of conditioned consciousness. So, the purpose of life is to reach the state of pure consciousness. Drop the conditioning, you got there. Now the question is how to drop the conditionings. Condition. See, what I mean by conditioned is, any one of you are dead drunk, fully intoxicated. You lost your personality here. You don't know who you are, where you are, what you are. A CEO of a company may be lying in the streets, in the gutters, dead drunk. And you as a friend want to help him. Hey, what are you doing here? I want to take you home. He says, this is my home. I'm inviting you. He's possessed by that intoxication. He's conditioned by alcohol. He's not himself. That I think you'll understand. When you're intoxicated, you're not yourself. You're conditioned by alcohol. Similarly, you have forgotten. You have lost your original consciousness and become conditioned consciousness. And what conditions you is simply desires. Is there a person here who is free of any desire, good, bad, or indifferent? Consciousness plus desire is you sitting down. You knock your desires off, you're there. Conditioned consciousness. Sunlight is unconditioned. Sunlight is all pervading, everywhere. But wherever there is a medium of reflection, reflecting medium, there is an individual sun. The all-pervading sunlight develops an individuality because of the conditioning of the mirror, of the reflecting medium. Similarly, friends, the pure consciousness has assumed this position because of a conditioning of the consciousness through the body, mind, and intellect. You possess a body, mind, and intellect, and that's conditioning you. the all-pervading sunlight has no individuality. But the sun reflected in a mirror has an individuality. If the mirror is blue, there's a blue sun. If the mirror is red, there's a red sun. If the mirror is broken, there's a broken sun. If the mirror is clear, there's a clear sun. If the mirror is dirty, there's a dirty sun. These are not the attributes of the sun above. The individual sun. Therefore, there is good, bad, indifferent. There is wise, mediocre, weak persons. All types of persons are conditioned by the equipments, not the pure consciousness. Now what has happened is, this concept of God introduced by somebody, or for many generations you might have followed, and now it's accepted. There's a blind acceptance of God. I'm not saying you should not accept. It's a blind acceptance which has formed the religions. The religions are these concepts. Acceptance of God. You ask a highly religious person, what is God? He gets irritated. You have no business to ask. You're not fit to ask. How dare you ask? What do you know about spirituality? They reject the question itself because they can't answer. They don't know what to answer. So religions have all sprung from this blind acceptance of the word X, God. And all religions have two facets. One is the philosophy, and the other is the ritualistic patterns. The philosophy of religions is one and the same. The ritualistic patterns are different. All the problems have arisen today because of the difference in the ritualistic practices. Not even a few people in thousands understand the philosophy of the religion. They only understand the ritualistic patterns and they follow. And they call themselves spiritual, religious. I'm only stating facts, I'm not criticizing. Find out anybody who is religious. He's just following certain religious patterns, that's about all. And religious patterns differ from religion to religion, and therefore, I box you, you box me. All the wars have been fought in the name of religion. All the disagreements even today is because of religion. Not because of religion, but your misconceptions of religion. The kernel of religion is the philosophy. Vedanta is the philosophy. Vedanta is split into two words, Veda and Anta. Combined it becomes Vedanta. Veda, V-D-A, means knowledge. Anta means A-N-T-A, means end. So Vedanta means the end of knowledge, culmination of knowledge. No objective knowledge has a culmination. The greatest poets have described knowledge, objective knowledge. If you seek knowledge outside, it's like the horizon. It keeps moving. The nearer you go, the further it goes. There's no end to objective knowledge. But you go subjective to seek within, there is an end. And that's called Vedanta, that knowledge. And that knowledge, there's no difference between religions. But two in a million approach it. And 1 in 1,000 who approach it understand it. So therefore, at the end of the talk, maximum I can expect is he speaks very well. You give me certificates, which I'm tired of. If there's one person who starts thinking there's something in what he says, it will be a miracle. Then you may ask me, why are you speaking to dumb people? I don't know what else to do. I just got to speak and you got to listen. I've developed the reputation as a speaker, and you are all listeners. Wherever anybody speaks, you go and listen. Here. 1 year it comes, other year it goes. That's all there is. Never, I'm not criticizing. But what is the common denominator in all philosophy is they all say, you've got to go introvert and find your own self. And the self is God. That's a pure consciousness. The self is God. It may sound blasphemous to you, but I'm quoting all the main scriptures so that you don't blame me. You can blame the scriptures. Every scripture has declared it. Where is it? The Upanishads is the highest philosophy embedded in the Vedas. It's in profound Sanskrit. You've got to spend a lifetime to get into that. Some of us had the fortune to investigate. And the Upanishads say, self is God. Tat Tvamasi. Tat means that, means God. Tvam means you. Asi means art. Thou art God. You art God. Self is God. The Upanishads. And then you go to the Old Testament. When Moses went up the mount, it appears the voice of God spoke to him from the bush. And Moses said, and gave instructions. I will follow the instructions. I will give it to the followers waiting down. But who are you? How do I describe you? Tell them, I am that I am. This was the answer. I am that I am. When I first read it, I thought it was a grammatic mistake, spelling mistake. It took me years to understand my mistake. I am that I am. I am is God, is the pure consciousness. But you will not stay with I am. Try it. I am, Swamiji, good. I am bad. I am rich. I am poor. I am tall. I am short. I am understanding. I am not understanding. You will have to objectify it. You will never remain with I am without an object. I am that I am. And in the New Testament, Christ says, the kingdom of God is within you. He directly says. The kingdom of God. These are quotations, please. This is not my interpretation. Direct quotations. You can refer to the books. And now you go to the Quran. The greatest jihad means holy war, is the conquest of yourself. Not other countries. Not other people. But conquest of yourself. Greatest jihad. You fight that out and conquer that, he says. Then you go to the Bhagavad Gita. He directly pronounces, I am the self in all of you. So, if you don't heed what I say, you have to heed what the scriptures say. Tat Tvamasi, that thou art. You are that truth, the reality, the self, the consciousness. But you have qualified it, you have modified it, you have destroyed it. You can't remain with I am good, I am bad, I am tall, I am short, I am. You can't have that I am without an object. So what is this God? See, one breath we say God is all pervading, everywhere. Next breath is say self is God. Now make up your mind. Now what they're saying is, where's the government of US? Everywhere. It's the government of US spreads even to the territorial waters. Everywhere. It's applicable. You make a mistake, you confront the government, you will be in trouble. Anywhere in the country, it's all pervading. But if you want to contact the government, you go to Washington, the capital. You want to contact the government of UK, you got to go to London. You want to contact the government of Australia, you go to Canberra. But it's everywhere, you say. It's everywhere. But to contact. Similarly, God is all pervading, but you want to contact it, get to yourself. The pure consciousness. I am. One great master defined God as, it's a magnificent definition. As I said, it's consciousness. It is knowledge. It is awareness. He defined God as objectless awareness. Objectless awareness. All your awareness is objectful. You are aware of something, you've gone off. Aware, pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure knowledge. Sir, a simple demonstration of that would be, I ask you, do you know my name? Do you know my name? You know. You sure? Sir, it's advertised everywhere. Who doesn't know your name? Even if you don't want to know, we'll know. You know my name. Do you know my father's name? No, sir. I don't know your father's name. How do you say that? I'm telling you. I know for certain that I do not know your father's name. I know your name I do not know your father's name, but I know that I know your name. I know that I do not know your father's name. That knowledge which illumines what I know, illumines what I don't know. That is pure consciousness. I am conscious of my knowledge and ignorance. That awareness with which I am aware of things is the same awareness which is aware of what I do not know. It's called Sakshi, the pure consciousness. That's God. You all go through 3 states of consciousness, whether you know it or not. At this moment, you are all in the waking state of consciousness. When you are awaker, when you go to bed, you are either a dreamer going through the deep dream state of consciousness or a deep sleeper going through dreamless sleep. At one time, you are awaker. Another time, you are a dreamer. Another time, you are a deep sleeper. Dreamless sleep. You're conscious of your waking state. You're conscious of the dream state. You're conscious of the deep sleep state. That consciousness which illumines all 3 states is the pure consciousness. You okay? Shall I continue? It was too late. I told my organizers, who fixed this topic? Deadly topic it is. Short of throwing brickbats, In South Africa, I almost been encountered. I ran away. What are you talking? What are you talking? I'm just what I talked, that's all, nothing more. They ran after me. So, when you come to any talks, any lectures, you don't come here to know what you know. You come here to find out what another person is telling you. That's not the temperament of people who are listening. They want to stick to what you want to stick to what you know. A true learner is one who listens to another person. Because what you know, you know. You must try to find out what another person says. I'm not saying you should accept it, but you should examine it. What is he saying? That's a true learner. So therefore, friends, waking, dream and deep sleep, that's all you know. You don't know anything beyond it. These 3 states. So all the 3 states are conditioned states. You are in 3 compartments. See, imagine a light coming from the ceiling, and there are 3 compartments. The light illumines compartment 1, compartment 2, compartment 3. But those who are in compartment 1 knows only compartment 1. They don't know what is in the compartment 2. And those who are compartment 2 knows only compartment 2, not 1 and 3. And 3 knows only 3, not 1 and 2. So each compartment is fixed. So you go through 3 compartments. But that which illumines all 3 compartments is one. That is the pure consciousness. You're conscious of the waking state. You're conscious of the dream state. You're conscious of the bliss of sleep. But you're not aware of that pure consciousness which illumines all 3 states. That pure consciousness is truth. It's not possible to know without the conditionings. If you shed the conditionings, you're there. That's called the state of self-realization or God-realization. It's in the books, you read it. Sir, imagine a ground. An empty shed. There's a hole in the ceiling. The whole shed is empty, neglected for years. And if you go into that shed, you see the spot of light and the hole that comes. Sunlight is coming through that hole. And there's a spot on the floor. You can see it on the floor. You can see it on the hole there. But I ask you, is there sunlight between that hole and the spot? Huh? Yes or no? Only 3 people say yes. There's light between that hole and the spot. You don't see it. Start dusting, sweeping the floor. The dust particles rise. You will find a beam of sunlight, almost like a steel beam. So what are you seeing there? Huh? What are you seeing there? Dust particles. I cut that light off, you'll see it. Then what are you seeing? You're seeing dust particles. It's there. Your eyes are open. What are you seeing? Anybody? Huh? What reflection? Dust particles plus light. What you are seeing is the dust part. You don't see the dust particles. You don't see the light. But when they combine, you see it. What you are seeing is the dust particles plus light. So what is light? What you are seeing minus the dust particles. Simple equation. What you are saying is dust plus light. So what is light? What you are saying minus the particles. So you're conscious of various things. You drop all the objects. What remains is the pure consciousness. What is pure consciousness? What you're conscious of minus the objects. Objectless awareness. That's God. The moment you describe God, you lost Him. He's all merciful, all kindness, all loving. He's Romeo. All strange, strange definitions. He's neither loving nor hatred. He's neither merciful or unmerciful. He's nothing. Now, I'll give you an example. Try to remember this. This is easy for you to understand. So far, it's all blackout. This is very useful tip I'm giving you, and you can use it freely to yourself. Don't lecture to others. What is the role of God in you? You say God is in you, self is in you. What is the role of self? Self acts in you exactly like petrol in a car. Have you digested that? Number 1 point. No car can move without petrol. You understand that? If you don't use the fuel, the car will stop. No car moves without petrol. But petrol has no desire to go anywhere or avoid going anywhere. Interesting. Petrol doesn't want to go. If you open the tank, the cover, and say, hello, I'm going to Swami's lecture, would you like to come? Would you mind if I come? There's no yes, there's no no. Petrol doesn't want to go anywhere, but without petrol, no car moves. Similarly, the consciousness doesn't want to act. There's no action. But without consciousness, there's no action. This finger is moving up and down because of the consciousness that supports it. But consciousness doesn't want the finger to move up and down. Interesting. Number 1. Number 2. In a mini car, the performance is mini. In a medium car, the performance is medium. In a powerful car, the performance is powerful. But the petrol in a mini car is the petrol in a medium car, is the petrol in a powerful car. The petrol is one and the same. The expressions are totally different. Similarly, the consciousness remains the same in an illiterate, uncivilized fellow, in literate, civilized people like you, in an outstanding genius like Einstein or Shakespeare or Milton, outstanding people. The same consciousness functions. Just as petrol expressing in a small car is small, medium car is medium, powerful car is powerful. Similarly, the consciousness functioning in an illiterate person is practically nothing. In you, there's something. In the outstanding geniuses, they perform brilliantly. But the consciousness is one. Same. Number 2. Number 3, one car goes down the embankment and crashes. If the car had run out of petrol a few meters away, there won't be any accident. But you can't blame the petrol and say, you caused the accident. Petrol has nothing to do with the accident. An ambulance car picks up people and saves their lives. The petrol in the ambulance car has no intention of saving. The petrol in the accident car has no intention of destroying. But without petrol, there is no destruction, there is no saving. It's neutral. That would explain why a terrorist is killing. Is neutral. Without the consciousness, he can't kill. In Sidney Carton, in Tales of Two Cities, a novel, he gives his life for another, for nothing. He sacrifices his life. Same consciousness that makes other people kill 40 people in a restaurant. Otherwise you can't explain. What is the role of God in a terrorist? He must have gone for a holiday. That's your answer. Must be sleeping. No, he's very much alive. What makes the terrorist kill is what makes that benevolent person give benevolence. It is neither a terrorist nor a benevolent person. It has nothing to do with the quality of action that comes out of it. If you understand all the 3 points you have somewhere in your God, therefore, God is the pure consciousness in you. The pure consciousness is the unconditioned self. You are not the body here that you believe you are. You are not the mind, you are not the intellect. You are that immaculate self. You understand that, you reach God. Rise above the conditionings. That's all you have to do. Condition. You got to drop the condition. When you're conditioned in the waking state, you become the waker. You're conditioned in the dream state, you become the dreamer. You're conditioned in the deep sleep, you become a deep sleeper. You're not the waker, you're not the dreamer, you're not the deep sleeper. You are, what are you? Yourself. You know everything above and about you. Umar Khayyam was a great thinker, philosopher. Umar Khayyam. He said, he came into the world. He makes a fabulous statement. They talked about and about. I came out by the same door I went in. I'm exactly where I am. They talked about and about. Everybody talks about and about. They don't get to the central point, which is the reality. So the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are all unreal. The reality is yourself. You know not yourself. You are sailing through unreal terrain, and you're quite satisfied. You seem to know where you are. Swamiji, by your grace, I am successful in being totally ignorant. Colossal ignorance prevails you. You say you're successful. What success you're talking about? So what is real? What is unreal? Try to understand the definition of reality. Reality is that which persists in all periods of time. Reality is that which persists in all periods of time. Past, present, and future. Anything that has not existed in the past, which doesn't exist in the future, may exist in the present, is unreal. That's a definition of reality. You take any experience of yours, it's all unreal. You've got a waking state now. You're in the waking state, you're a waker. It's unreal. What's unreal about it? When you go to the dream state, you yourself go to the dream state. You can't use what's in the waking state. You're a very wealthy man in the waking state. You're a debtor in the dream. You can't use the money that you have in the waking state to service the loans in the dream, and you suffer the pangs of indebtedness. Vice versa. You could be a billionaire in the dream, All the money in the dream cannot service the debts you have now mounting on you. You borrowed for your business, you borrowed for your house, you borrowed for your car, you borrowed, everything is mortgaged. You can't use all the money that you earned in the dream to service all these loans. Unreal. The money that you have, the reputation you have is unreal. The reputation of money that you have in the dream is unreal. In deep sleep, you are peaceful. When you are supposed to be executed next day, you are peaceful, sleeping. Unreal. So all the three states that you are going through are unreal. What is the reality? Self-consciousness passes through all the three. It is permanent. That which exists in the waking state is the same consciousness with which you are conscious of the dream state, is the same conscious that you are conscious of the bliss of sleep. That is permanent. So God is beyond the waking dream and deep sleep. But you are stuck in the waking dream and deep sleep. And you want to establish further by taking photographs of it. There's enough photographs. It's all false. Photographs are false. And in the falsehood, you want to establish the falsehood. I can't understand this. You want to paint. You want to take photographs of your ignorance. Your marriage photographs. Now, I don't mind you taking marriage, but you torture us to see that. Why can't you be content with your pictures? You keep it at home and see it again and again. But any time I come, Swamiji, you must see our wedding photographs. My God, it's torture to see. It's a torture. You have got to eradicate yourself. You are establishing yourself by various photographs. You know, I'm traveled around the world. I've been traveling for the last 65 years, I think. Wherever I go, they are very, very kind. I'm very unkind to them when I say this. They give me their own bedrooms without them. So, lovely bedrooms, which I don't mind, I enjoy. But what irritates me is husband and wife picture in front of me. I can't say, why don't you remove that? If they are beautiful, it's all right. Caricatures there. I have to see it every morning when I get up. Every night before I go to sleep, I see the pictures. This itself is false. And the false you are establishing is further falsehood. Madness. I don't know how to define madness. So beyond the waking dream and deep sleep lies your essential self. It's called the fourth state, Turiya. See, fourth state is called Turiya. That's a state of self-realization. So waking dream and deep sleep. Now, please follow this carefully. Very simple it is. Deep sleep only knows you as when you sleep. You know only sleep. It's blankness. When you reach the next level, dreamer knows two things. Dream and deep sleep. Dreamer can say, I had a good sleep. So he knows what sleep is. He knows what the dream is. But he doesn't know what the waking state is. Are you with me? Huh? Dreamer knows dreaming state and deep sleep state. Only two states. When you come to the waking state now, you know the waking state, last night's dream you know, and the sleep you know. You know three states. I repeat, Deep sleeper knows only one state. That's the state of deep sleep. Dreamer knows two states, dream and deep sleep. Waker knows you as the waker, waking, dream and deep sleep. But what is interesting is, the lower does not know the higher. Dreamer will never know the waking state. An Olympic runner may dream that he is in a wheelchair, permanently disabled. Now, if you are able to reach him it's not possible, reach him in the dream state and say, hey, what are you suffering? What are you crying? You are an Olympic runner. Tomorrow you're going to run for the country. You are pulling my leg. Don't you see I'm in a wheelchair? A dreamer cannot conceive the waker. Upper, anything upper. You understand that? Cannot conceive. Cannot perceive the waker. He cannot come in contact with the waker. He cannot conceive the waker. He can only become the waker. He wakes up, the dreamer becomes the waker. Similarly, friends, you cannot conceive the self. You cannot perceive the self. I repeat, dreamer cannot perceive the self. He can't go and shake hands with the waker. He cannot conceive intellectually, this is the waker. Dreamer can only become the waker, transform himself to the waker. Give him one slap, he wakes up. That's what I'm trying to do. Come individually, come here, give one slap, wake you up. Those who are interested. Similarly, waker you all cannot perceive God, cannot perceive the self, cannot conceive the self, can only become the self. You can't perceive God, you can't conceive God, you can become God. That's called God realization. Take it or leave it. It's your choice. You're wasting time. You do whatever things you're doing. All non-essentials. Whatever you're doing, continue to do that. But the back of your mind, yes, I must find my identity. Just as a drunkard must find his identity, you must find your identity, decondition yourself. That's called God realization. Thank you very much.